Hello, and welcome back to your Eve Echoes Weekly News Update. I'm your host, Daemonxel, and before we get started, if you can just hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, then you too can be up to date with everything that this channel has to offer. Now, I understand this video is coming out a day late. It's on a Friday, and there is a reason for that. One, we have Halloween this weekend, and I do have a little one, so we're getting everything ready at my house, even though everything going on in the world is going on. Second of all, with the introduction of the weekly news brief, there really wasn't a lot of community news happening since Monday. There's been some skirmishes here and there, but nothing really to sink our teeth into. And I do believe that's because, my opinion, everyone is kind of holed up in their corners of the universe, awaiting for the new items to drop on the 31st. So the patch did drop this week, and it went relatively smooth. This patch did bring with it the 16 new ships. Those are your interdictors. We went into them in the previous video, so I'm not going to name off all of them, but they're all now in the game currently. With this patch, it also did bring with it the new skill of signal interference technology, as well as the adjustment to your electronic warfare technology. But let's get into exactly what the new features are and what this patch brought to us. First of all, it did bring with it all those new modules that was on the test server. Unfortunately, they will not be live in the game until the Halloween event starts on the 31st. That's going to be your Halloween special anomalies. That's where you're going to get your skins, your permanent skins, all these new modules. Everything's going to be dropping in those anomalies. Now, those anomalies will be popping in every system. It doesn't matter what security system that you're in, it's going to pop in everyone. So it's going to be in high sec, low sec, and null sec. The security status of that system does not affect the spawn. In other words, you're going to have a very high chance of getting a small spawn and a very slim chance of getting that rare spawn. Now, I think everyone can agree on this. This is one of the monumental things that we've been asking for, and we finally got it. We now have official Alliance chat in the game. Thank God, hallelujah, singing upon the mountaintop, we have it. The only problem now is, yes, we can talk to everyone in our alliance, but for those big alliances that are running multiple alliances, such as Genesis Federation's got their 9+, and a lot of the other alliances have multiple alliances themselves because they have so many corps with them. Until we get the expanded alliance in November, where the alliances can now house 30 corporations instead of the 10, you still have to have those custom channels to speak in between those inter-alliances. Starting next week, at the beginning of November, they will reinstate the login bonuses. Each calendar is going to run for 31 actual days, and you'll be able to claim rewards for each day. We don't know what those rewards contain. Hopefully it's a little bit better than the last month. We'll have to wait and see. This is a big one. Now, if you remember back at the AMA, a question was asked for a new type of warfare. Pilots were cloaking in anomalies as well as asteroid belts, and they would not despawn, thusly not creating a new anomaly in that system. They said they weren't going to do anything about that. Well, with this patch, they actually did. Cloaking in cosmic anomalies will no longer stop them from being erased. Which means, even if you're cloaked up in that special anomaly, that Scout or Inquisitor site, it will now, once it's finished, disappear from the list. You can still remain on grid, and everything that's on grid will remain on grid. However, it will disappear from the actual list, thus we now being able to create a new spawn in the cycle for that system. They have increased the waiting time when exiting a station. So, in other words, you're not just going to jump right out into space. You actually have time to click that abort button in case you forgot something. Here's another big one no one's really talking about. Capsular outposts can no longer be protected by force field defense modules or defense link modules. So, you can no longer bubble up on your station to protect it if an attack. You are going to have to push off that enemy fleet. instead of just sitting on your station, absorbing the damage through your bubble. For all those spies out there, or people with bad reputations who went and paid to get their name changed, well, guess what? Now, the history of your name change will be displayed in your employment history. That's right. You cannot run from any past deeds you've done. You change your name, that's okay. It's still going to show up in your employment history. They say they improved that notification pop-up. That's that thing that's annoying every time you go into a station that says, look, it's the new Halloween thing that's coming out. Oh, wait, have you tried our social media? Well, they now split it up into 4 different categories. It's still going to pop up. It's still going to be annoying. Unfortunately, you just have to deal with it. Skills that can be only learned as Omega will now be added to tech levels after your Omegas expires. This is a good one. The crime timer is now displayed in the station. No longer will you be able to just quickly dock in that station, missing the guns on that station if you have a crime timer. And no more undocking, thinking, well, do I have the crime timer? Do I have my timing down right? It's going to be displayed in the station, so you won't get automatically blapped as soon as you exit the station. Trust me, it helps. I lost the Brutix to these guns during the beta because of this. Now, they fixed a number of issues with this patch, such as the issue that tips on drones sometimes did not show the bonus. They fixed the reprocessing error that would occur when a citadel was destroyed or during its unanchoring process. They fixed a problem where player ship damage reports did not show up. They fixed a problem where some player names show blank. And they also fixed a problem where the range would not increase further after tracking computer was activated. That's a big one. If you don't remember last week's broadcast, the tracking computers would not give its active bonus out, which was huge. Sniper fleets would have to move in closer. They fixed that. Your tracking computers are now working again. All is right in the world. With any patch, we know there's always bugs, and this patch did bring a few of them. One of them was significant. Now, the bug was with the shield field module. Whenever a player uses this module, they're likely to be attacked and take a lot of damage. Obviously, we know what that means. Anyone who's using a field module is going to be attacked. They're going to take a lot of damage. But what they meant was this, that the damage was going to be magnified. Basically, if you were in an anomaly, you could be in a tier 8, could be tier 6, whatever it is, whichever wave came in. If you have that module going, it was like you were just alpha'd off the field. Just wrecked. Now, they did fix this within a few hours of it going live, but unfortunately, it was not soon enough for some of these poor souls. Rest in peace, a lot of these faction cruisers that were using that field module and just wondering what the hell happened to them. Now, those of you that have lost ships due to that shield module bug, don't worry, you don't have to fill out a form or anything like that. You will be given compensation and get your ships back within 1 to 2 days of this occurring. It'll be an automatic process, and you should be getting your ship and your modules back due to that. There's also a bug with drones showing damage that they are not capable of. Here are a few images right here of some drone boats reporting damage of, say, 10,000 plus. Obviously, this is a visual bug. If it was actually in the game and you were actually doing that, it would be, game breaking. But, it is just a visual bug. Some go high, some go low. I actually replicated the bug itself using just a regular VNI, which cold is doing 389 DPS. When you press that the hot button, it dropped my damage down to 99. So it can go either way. It's just a visual bug. Don't worry about it. It will get fixed within the next cycle. There were some bugs on the test server before it went down, such as the T8 interdiction ships didn't consume fuel. Again, we won't know if they fix this until people start hitting T8 on the live server, and we'll start using these new modules that will drop within the on the 31st. Two other bugs that were shown is the Corp business card bug. Now, someone reached out to me on the Allied News Network Discord to share with us a few of these bugs. So with the Corp business card, it bugs out when you click back and forth from contacts to channels, and you can't actually post it or share that business card for some reason. It just started with this last update this week. It should get fixed within the next patch. Another one is with contracts. Now, when you're issued a ton of contracts at the same time, now you can receive a ton of contracts. You can always put out, X amount of contracts, but you can receive, a lot of contracts. Now, the bug was with this, when you're receiving a bunch of those, they wouldn't show up and they wouldn't refresh. You'd actually have to X out of the contract, X out of the UI, come back into it, and sometimes it would show. If you relogged, they would all show up. And there's also no notification that pops up when you're getting this contract. Now, that I've seen myself in issuing contracts between my alts. Another bug that we've been seeing this week is random disconnects. Now, these are beyond your normal disconnects. These are just straight up, you leave a station, your game closes. Now, I don't know what this bug is. Hopefully that again will get fixed with this next patch. There have been increasingly a lot of bugs in this patch. So we have these new modules that are going to come on the 31st in an event called the Crimson Harvest. Now, this is New Eden's Halloween event. It's going to be active from October 31st to November 10th, and this is the only spot where you'll be able to get these new modules. That's your warp scramblers, that's your interdiction sphere launchers, that's going to be your sensor dampeners, target painters. That's going to be all your new modules, as well as skins. Now, the way these are going to work is during the event, for each system in the universe, that's high sec, low sec, null sec, there's a 20% probability per hour that a festive anomaly is going to appear. There is a 75% chance that it'll be a low-level encounter, and a 25% that it'll be a high-level encounter. Those are your rare ones. Now, this can go in any system. It doesn't matter what security status that system is going to be. The difference being is the loot. On those low-level anomalies, there's going to be a chance of 2 types of common haunted supply boxes will be found in those anomalies. While in the rare ones, there's going to be 3 types of common and 1 rare type. Now, in these ones, you're going to have a 90% chance of getting a haunted supply box and a 10% chance of getting a haunted supply box 2 when you receive the common haunted supply box in those anomalies. Now, the rare ones are going to have some different. You're going to have a 50% chance of giving your common, that's your haunted supply box 1, a 40% chance of getting that supply box 2, and a 10% chance of getting the supply box 3. That's in the rare haunted supply box. Now, the only thing we know is what's going to be in the Haunted Supply Box 3. That's going to grant the new storyline modules as well as permanent Halloween skins. Everything else is just going to be your regular modules and your 15-day skins. Now, right after this event ends on the 11th, these modules can then be obtained the normal way in Scout sites and Inquisitor sites. In your market news report, Plex did see a slight increase during the week to about 400,000, and it came back down to 375. It is now dipping back up as of today to 400k. This could be speculation on these new skins, I don't know, but we are seeing a ebb and flow between 30k up and down. The interdictors have entered the market. They started off at around 60 million, and they have actually come down roughly between 25 and 30. Now, I did get a report earlier this week about the implosion or scaling back of the Avalanche Alliance. Now, that is Sovereign RPG's alliance, and I did reach out to Sovereign to find out exactly what's going on. Is the alliance falling apart? What is basically happening? Because the reports were that Sovereign actually left the Avalanche Alliance. Now, he answered back with saying that he was never the CEO of the Corp, and yes, he is moving out to make a covert ops Corp. He's going to be basing out of HiSec, and he's going to be having zero blues with the new Corp. It's something that he wanted to do from the beginning, and something that he always loved in EVE Online. There is no implosion. Options were given to all Corps in the Alliance and all members in the Corps of Sovereign. 2 Corps decided to go their own way, and nearly all members decided to stick with Sovereign, except those also with interest in the Covert Ops Corp. Now, he does have some new graphics for this Corp that he's forming, and this is going to be Sovereign's Wolf Pack. Now, he did go on to say that starting up the channel and it exploding like it did caused his plans to push themselves in a direction as many people wanted to join. And as he got further and further into the game, he wasn't really enjoying himself. He was fighting the same people all the time. He was listening to, as he says, BS propaganda and General Nullsec, screwing around. Something he didn't want to do from the beginning, but he went for it anyway for all the guys that were backing him. He says there was also no vote for a new Corp leader. The person who was leading it before is still leading it to this day. So we wish Sovereign luck. We are anxious to see what his channel is going to produce, this new channel. And if it's anything like his Corp documentary of the Wolfpack, I know we're all going to love it. Now, I did reach out to the Mercenary Coalition to find out how their war is going down in Delve, and they have said that it's actually going extremely well. Their losses are about 5% in relation to kill ratio. So they are, what they are saying are 95% ISK effective, based on the player per kill contract. They do go on to say that they were hired, what they were hired to do in 30 days will actually be done in 10, and then they'll be leaving the South. Who knows what new contract they'll be getting. Now, earlier in the week, there was a dust-up between the Terran Federation and the Mercenary Coalition, and there was an interesting Reddit thread that was then retracted due to false information. The Mercenary Coalition set Terran Federation to red because they thought that the Terran Federation was coming in to support PIBC in defense, when in fact it was just a small roaming gang doing a gate camp inside Delve, because Delve is a good area for targets. Neutral standings have been then reset, so Terran Federation is now back to neutral, not red, set by Mercenary Coalition, and we will just keep an eye on the whole situation. Like I said, the Alliance news this week is a little sparse due to everyone waiting on these new modules to drop. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a good weekend and see exactly where everyone is in relation to bubble gate camps, as well as the PvP aspect of everything changing. Now, if you need more news in your life, please check out the Allied News Network. That's our Discord for joint ventures between all our content creators who are supplying the news. Be on the lookout for Rev Deuce's next Allied News Network broadcast, as well as the Eve Echoes radio broadcast every Monday and Friday. Now, Frankie will be back, I believe, next week. He did have a medical issue, so that show will have the news director, DeJers, filling in for Frankie until he comes. So we all wish Frankie a speedy recovery and to come back very, very well and refreshed. I will be back on Monday with the Eve Echoes News Brief, and over the weekend I'm actually going to have a little treat for you guys. I'm going to have a special fun video, so be on the lookout for that. So until then, until next week, everyone have a great weekend, fly safe, and remember, your enemy can never disrupt you from within a pod.